Hey, everybody. Are
Hi.
we podcasting?
Are we podcasting?
I think we are.
Well, we're here to do it, so let's do it, actually.
Let's do it.
I mean, we might as well.
Listen, if you're here, thanks for coming and listening to the hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast. You can find us on all the social programming that's available, like TikTok and Instagram, and we've got a podcast Instagram, and we've got an Instagram, and we've got
Facebook and
Twitter, and we don't know what Threads is, but we'll get there.
We did at one point sign up for Etsy too. I don't know what you do with those.
We don't know. There's a lot.
Or Pinterest.
One of the two.
Yeah,
Are we on Pinterest?
I think so.
I don't even know how to do that. But we're doing great ish. So hope you're doing great ish, because that's all that anybody can hope for. Remember to rate and review and subscribe to this podcast, because we're just,
They say it's good, and we do what they say.
Yeah,
a lot
we
of
love
the times.
Acast. That's who our podcast company is. Big shout out to them. But mostly,
we don't know why. Honestly, we don't know why.
We don't know why, but they tell us to say it.
Our sponsors, you guys, we're just talking for no reason. What? We have a thing that we really wanted to talk about today.
I know. Okay,
we're a little bit tired.
We're a little tired. We're a little punchy. But I did just have, and I've been waiting to tell Jen about it, because I was like, this is like a thing. It's a deal. So, my daughter, who is 10. And is heading into the 5th grade, just had to say goodbye to a friend who's moving. It's the first time that she's had to say goodbye.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, boy, I felt so bad for her, and I felt so much sympathy, because it made me think about the friends that I've had to say goodbye to. And that's like kind of a big deal in growing up. Kids move.
How long? Okay, so give me the breakdown. How long have they known each other?
I'm going to tell you about this friend. Oh my God. So her name is Leah, and they have been friends since kindergarten.
Leah.
Yeah, Leah.
Oh my gosh.
Leah is super girly, and Eleanor, who is more like me, Leah's like, Eleanor, you need to put purple sparkles on your eyes, because it's going to really bring out the blue. And then Eleanor's like, okay. And then they go into Sephora and they try on 1,000 different samples, and they're so girly together. And all Leah wants to do is hug, and she just brings out this beautiful little girly girl in Eleanor that I think is what you do for me. She brings out sparkle and talks about girly stuff, and it's good for me. It's good for my daughter to have the girly girls in our lives. And I'm so sad to see her move, and Eleanor's little heart is broken. But
yeah, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
They've been together for a really long time.
They've been together for a long time, and the way they are together. So Leah has a little sister named Cien, and so it's just such girl energy. And Leah's mom is super girly. So when Eleanor goes there, she's just in the fold of everything feminine, which I love. But Eleanor is also boy, those two girls cry a lot,
Sure. Yeah.
I'm because they're having feelings that are not being met with a brother that's throwing a soccer ball at your head. You don't have to put your dukes up. They're going to talk about their feelings.
Yeah, and all sisters home, all brothers home. They're very different animals.
It's very different.
It is. It's so funny that you're saying this now, because I have not thought about this for such a long time. But so a boy that Delilah's gone to, she's only going to be in the 3rd grade, that she's gone to school with since kindergarten, is moving just an hour away.
But it's a move.
And I was really sad when he left. I was like, oh gosh, are we ever going to see him again? Because I remember when they met in kindergarten.
I know, it becomes, these little relationships we become deeply rooted in them more than we think.
He moved away, and she's really sad about it. And I'm sad about it too, because I just love their family. And the funny thing is, when I grew up, because I was a military brat, you always moved, or somebody else always moved. That was nothing. And I hadn't thought about that in so long that
I never moved. I used to, oh God, we were so rooted in our small town. I love Central City, but let me tell you, as a 2nd grader or 3rd grader with a lot of big dreams, I was like, I'm going to start a rumor that my parents that we're moving. So I would just start telling people, we've decided that we're going to move to Hollywood. And my mom would
You're
get
just kind of wishing out loud. That's all.
Oh,
That's
but my mom would hear about it. The trickle, she's a teacher. My dad was a
There's
business
no
owner.
escaping it. Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Are you telling people we're moving?" And I was like, "I'm just saying, if I start the fire, you don't want to be a liar, right? Like, so let's." And
I'm
she's like,
reading this
"Stop
book
telling
called The
people."
Secret.
Yeah,
So I'm
stop telling people that we're moving. I wanted so bad to move. But then I remember, so Eleanor having to say goodbye to her friend just brought up so many things about when I've had to say goodbye to people. Like, it's been more me saying goodbye to people moving away than me ever. I was never a military kid. I stayed in the same town all through high school, then went to college in Lincoln. You know what I mean?
I think
So Laura, my friend Laura, that I was best friends with that lived in LA, moved after, we were friends for like 16 years, right? Like 15 years.
Yeah.
And she moved away and it felt like someone was like punching me in the gut, and Allie and so many of my friends that have moved out of LA back. So I'm an adult at this point.
Yeah.
Eleanor it's just so, like, in her little brain, I'm like, oh man, she's having such big feelings right now. She was crying. Leia was crying. Like, they're desperate to spend any time together. And I found myself, for right or wrong, trying to solve this problem, right? Like telling her, like, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. We've got FaceTime now. You can text message each other. We can make a trip to go see each other. Then at one point I was like, or you can just let her feel bad because she needs to kind of feel bad.
It's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience, and she's having feelings that because I noticed, because I was like trying to make her feel better, and she was like nodding her head, and then when I left her room, I could hear her crying in her room.
Oh God, that's heartbreaking for a mom.
It's heartbreaking. I'm like, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
You want a puppy?
How do I make this go away?
Like, I don't want you to feel
But that
pain.
is, I mean, that's what friends are good for, is you learn things from them, you
Oh
know?
my gosh.
Like, and, just like Delilah learned from her friend, it's like she's going to learn a lesson from this and remember Leia for her entire life, whether they stay in contact or not. Like,
I have it in my heart that they're going to reunite in college and then start a business together. Like, I have all these like big hopes. Meanwhile, my husband's I love my husband. Oh my God. You're going to get this right.
There's a big butt in there.
You're going to get this right 100%. Okay. So in the moment, my husband's like, oh, this happens. This is part of life. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate everybody who's like, says stuff like, don't take it personally, or, oh, things like this just happen. Like, that's a real like brass tacks level 6 move, but these are emotions and they feel bad. And like, I would rather you make me believe that magic can happen and this isn't final.
I am not a marriage counselor, but I like to play one at home. And so that is not acknowledging feelings. That is dismissing feelings.
Thank you very much, Counselor Smedley.
You're
for being on my side. But then, so I told him that. I said,
because Colin is the kind of man that will say, well, dogs die.
Yeah.
Well,
dogs die.
They're dogs. They die.
But he doesn't really feel that, because I said to him, have you ever had a friend that moved away when you were little and it really feels like someone's ripping out your heart? Take a wild guess. What name?
Started sobbing. What?
Take a guess. What friend? You know it.
Jaron Wood. A man he describes as devastatingly handsome.
My husband has this character in his own life that comes up in more conversation, so much so that my friend Jen knows about my husband's through line friend who also moved away. And Colin said, and I quote, I was at school and someone said Jaron had moved away and I felt like I wanted to start crying. And I thought to myself, well, did no one feel like they needed to tell me? And I'm like, well, how tight of friends were you?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying is, like, it is so hard to know these life lessons are going to happen. And as a mom, there's like kind of not much you can do. We do our best. I'm not going to be like dismissive Mr. Sweeney who's like, well, shit happens. He wasn't like that with her. He was that with me. With her, he was like, do you want to go to Miami tomorrow? To like, because he doesn't want to see her little heart break.
Yeah. And that's why I get frustrated with Colin, is because I know he loves dogs and I know he's a softie on the inside, but he's a toughie on the outside.
He says the thing that he thinks you're supposed to say that's like on some level like, well, those are the breaks. I'm like, No, they're not. And you don't believe that.
Well, I think that like the moving thing, like it's like a breakup.
It
Like that
is.
nobody had a choice about. Like
Right.
and we know how those feel because these
Terrible.
parents made a decision or life made the decision that you have to leave. And I think about like I always say how military kids are like tough as balls. There's like
That would be tough. That would be the hardest thing.
I think it is the constant like change and switch that kind of like gives you a little bit of that like toughness.
Hardness, do you
Yeah,
think?
because and partly it is that your parents are gone a lot or like maybe you're one of them's deployed or both
Yeah.
are deployed or whatever, but like it takes so much courage to make friends. It is so hard to put yourself out there and like go, here's who I am. Are you going to take it or leave it? Because we're
Yeah.
all scared somebody's going to leave it. And so to keep doing that and then lose that
Oh.
and then have to do it again, it's a really hard thing to do. And I'm sure like for Eleanor, it's in her head. Like I had this person who loved me unconditionally. How do I get that level of closeness with somebody?
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to put myself out there again. And that's scary. Like,
And Eleanor is a little bit shy.
sure.
She's a little shy.
Yeah.
She's not like, I think I mean, not a shock, right? Like, plus I went to the school. I went to kindergarten through to senior year of high
She was
school.
mayor of her town by the time she was 11.
I just bossed everyone around. I was like, we're going to be best friends this year. Sorry. I need
It's
you to
what's
move in next
happening.
door.
Yeah.
And
It works though.
I'm going to share all my deepest and darkest with you right away. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be friends. I want someone to, and Eleanor, this love that she has with this particular friend is so special. And it just made me realize like those moments in life are things you can't avoid. You can't, they're part of it. And it's kind of like you said, like heartbreak. Like
Yeah.
heartbreak is another thing. Like I am not there yet, obviously, but I am like the idea of my kids suffering like a breakup or a heartbreak in any way that I felt, or even an unrequited love from having 1,000 crushes. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to handle it.
Well, it's funny because
I'm going to be like, give me his address. Let's work this.
Kristen like automatically or like pretty immediately you will put yourself out there, you know?
100%.
And like I notice this all the time when we're on planes. Like Kristen sits down and there's somebody like we both like a window seat. So she's right behind me or I'm right behind her. And she sits down and she's like, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Kristen." Goes out to shake their hand. "Can I buy you a drink? They're free, but what you want to split one together? We'll get 2 swizzle straws and you and I are best friends forever. I'll get your phone number." Her mom does the same thing. Like they're just the friendliest people. And when somebody sits down next to me, I nod and then I just look at the magazine and I put my headphones in, my earbuds in, and I don't want to talk to him until the very end of the flight. I'm ready to have a
Yeah, then
conversation because there's no commitment.
You built up.
I've seen there are
I'm like, Jen, I know this guy's social security number and what he plans on doing for retirement, or I've decided I don't like him. I wish we wouldn't have chatted for 2
if that
hours.
flight is delayed and I have a couple pre-plane drinks, I will get to know somebody immediately. But otherwise, I'm not willing to put myself out there. Like it's too much. But it's funny because we were on a flight. We boarded a flight just days ago.
Yep.
And there was like, a bent propeller, which evidently is an issue.
Yep.
So we had to get off the plane, but it was so funny. There's this cute little woman next to me
Yeah.
who I nodded, smiled at,
Yeah, she was sweet.
did not talk to her until we were deboarding the plane.
Yeah.
Like and then we became best friends.
Yes.
But I don't like to invest because I invest fully, you guys.
That's true.
I-
Well, and I think again, like yes, I guess I do talk to everybody. It's like part of my nature to be like, well, if you don't talk to them, are you even on earth? Like they need to see you so you know you exist.
But
That's how.
it's hilarious because I'll know right away as soon as she sits next to somebody how she feels about them because she'll look at the space between the seats and it'll be like a eye roll thing, or it'll be like a, "Oh, hey, huh?
There's only a couple times that I've been like, generally people start to talk about politics, which is a real buzzkill for me. And I'm like, nope, I'm out. Now I'm going to put in my earbuds. But it drives my husband crazy because I always say to him, and this is, I know it's going to get under his skin. I'll go, God, I got on the plane and Jen was sitting in front of me, not next to me. So this person sat down next to me and had on headphones, and I was like, excuse me, can we have what's your name? And he's like, Colin's like, wait a minute, the guy had on headphones and you tried to talk to him, and I go, every time.
That's the international symbol for fuck off.
Yeah. And I'm like, every time I'm going to chat him. And he goes, he doesn't want you to talk. She or he does not want you to talk to him if they're wearing headphones. And I'm like, that's just a friend that doesn't know that we've have a friendship.
Yeah, they just haven't realized it yet. You're aware. Here's how she does it, because I've seen it happen a lot. She's like taps their arm. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to bug you. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I don't mean to. I've been traveling for a couple days with my friend. I get as much as I can in when they've extended the ear. They're like, I tap them. Yep. And then they pull the ear thing out, and I'm like, I'm just going to hop up and do this now instead of bugging you 50 times. Where are you from? We traveling? You got family? I ask as many questions before the ear thing goes back, and then they sort of feel like they have to bring the headphones down. Once the headphones are down, I'm in. It's true.
And then I come back and I tap them. I'm like, excuse me, sorry to bug you. And then I make a butt joke because I scoop my butt.
Yep. Are you going to eat that brownie? Yeah.
That's how it rolls. So but I also have this inability to sort of accept saying goodbye. Like I hate it. I don't want to accept it. I have issues with that. That goes into deeper stories, but I'm like, I will refuse to say goodbye. I say, I'll see you later, or I'm gonna make it a point to connect, and we do. I still like.
I know we all do.
I can't do it.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna say hi, Rebecca, she came and lived with my neighbor for like a year, maybe 8 months or something like that. Like they worked together, and then my friend Laura has like an extra room in her house. And she just had all this going on in life. So she came to live with them. Like they thought it was going to be like a few weeks or whatever. And then it worked for everybody. So so every time my neighbor Laura would come over, Rebecca would be there. Like she just like became a part of our family, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all this stuff. Yeah. She was like, so then like a month ago, she was over at our house and goes, hey, I'm having like a going away thing. And I was like, where are you going? She's like, I'm moving. I'm moving, but moving like away, not just like getting a different place, like moving away. And I was like, not prepared for it. Now, we always talk. We always joke around. She's like lovely and stuff. But then you're like, well, how far does this relationship extend? Yeah. And I'm telling you, I went to the going away party, and I could tell she felt the same way too. It was like we missed all these opportunities to like become better friends than we would have been. Painful. It was painful. It really felt like a loss when she moved, and I'm still trying to talk her into coming back for Thanksgiving to have Thanksgiving dinner with us, because I'm like, you're just gonna go? Like you're just gonna go? I know I'm not ready for that. Like I can't do it. I'm not good at it. I will maintain. I have to actually say. It's like she's getting off the plane, and then I'm like, but wait. I think we'd be fast friends if we just would have. I should have started talking to you at the beginning. Why didn't I? I think I give my mom a lot of credit in this space, because my mom, she's got 13 brothers and sisters. She's number 12 out of 13. And she was always that person, and continues to be, and everybody needs to like remember how awesome she is, because she goes to everybody's stuff. Yeah. She is the tie that binds. She drives to Denver. She goes to kids like second and third, cousins having babies. Yeah. She goes to their music productions, and she really knows that it's like time together is how you build friendship and memory and the thickness of the friendship. Like it's never, for her, it's never surfaced. That's why she gets your phone number and she calls, and she's very invested in whoever she brings into her fold. She just happens to bring in literally everybody. She's the only person I've ever met who has friendships that she has met on the plane and continued the friendship out of an airport. Yeah. I have met thousands of people at an airport and never followed up. Yeah. Or they've blocked me, but I've never followed up on the friendship. She does, and has friends that she has met. She's like, I met her when I was on a flight, and now we're having lunch. I'm flying to Florida. I'm like, I love it. But she's taught me that. But I also know there is certain truths and honesty about
when a friend moves away or when somebody goes far away, it's hard to maintain the relationship, and you got to kind of sit with it a little bit. And seeing your kid sit with like that I felt so much panic and like wanting just to make her feel better. And
well, we had a similar incident, which we've turned into a way that we make fun of our son because we're good parents, which is that I will call this kid Brian. When Dash started kindergarten, he was like, well, I got a new best friend, and that is Brian.
Yeah.
We are thick as thieves from the day that we met, like just like fully invested in this friendship. Like he's like, you know how when they're little, they're like, what's your mom's phone number? Like you exchange, like that's how you like.
Mom, get a play date.
Can you text her and do a play date. Exactly.
Play date.
So it was exactly like that. Get the mom's email, get the mom's phone number, all of that. And then like 4 weeks into the school year, Brian moves to Vegas. They're moving.
Dash was like, dear diary.
Oh,
my best
God.
friend Brian. I don't know his last name. Is my special friend.
I don't know if my son to this day has ever been more upset than when Brian moved to Vegas. We had to have so many conversations. I had to promise him, like, maybe we'll make a road trip to Vegas and we'll visit.
Well, you know, your mom loves to go to the penny slots, so we'll go see what Brian's doing up in there.
It's true. Brian left his jacket at school, and I was like fully prepared to do an emergency stop.
Drive by.
Absolutely. But also, like, Dash wore Brian's jacket forever, so long that he didn't remember who Brian was. And so to this day, we'll still be like, when he's upset, like about something ridiculous, because look,
it's a little.
We all can gauge when our kids are genuinely upset and when they're
being
hamming
ridiculous.
it up because they're tired or because they're trying to be manipulative or whatever. So
all of the above.
Britt will say to him, he'll be like, do you miss Brian? You want to call Brian? Because he doesn't remember him at all. Like he laughs about it too because it was so like he's like, what was that kid's name that I was so devastated by? No
Jaron
idea.
Wood. It's Jaron Wood,
which is, I mean, I do think Jaron's a real thing because
oh my
I
God,
still hear
my
a lot about him.
My husband talks more about Jaron Wood than he talks about me. I guarantee.
I think so.
With more love and more like he's like, oh, the one that got away, Jaron Wood. I'm like, dude, like reach out, start the friendship now.
I still remember probably like because I moved when I was a kid. I was born in DC. We lived in Falls Church, moved to Nebraska, moved to O'Fallon, Illinois, moved back to Nebraska.
And you left a lot of friends in your wake, I'm sure.
I had one good friend, Allison Rowland, who I just loved, who I've totally lost touch with.
Because it happens.
I know. And
this is my point.
I guarantee you she's not listening. And if she is, she'll be like,
no, I barely remember.
Yeah. Who? I know.
I need everybody to be
Brian. Is it you, Brian?
Brian? Jaron? Who's listening?
Who's Jaron? What if Jaron Wood's wife listens to our show and she's like, "Oh my God, they talk so much about you."
This name, I can't remember my husband's high school, but I know all about Jaron Wood.
I know she really can't. She can't remember. Somebody asked the other day.
Can't remember it. She does.
I'd like to reconnect, but I really do feel like the one thing about doing Our Moms So Hard and being like so busy is that I don't like to let anybody go. I like to hang on to people forever. And I feel like even with social media making things like easier to connect with people, I don't get to like sit down and have dinner or something or go have a drink with somebody like I used to.
Yeah.
It's probably kids. It's probably not
It's
us
kids,
being
but
busy.
social media, I suppose, if there is something that does make me feel a little bit more connected at times, I still don't think it's safe or healthy for anybody under the age of 18.
No.
Is that everybody shits on Facebook, but I do like Facebook for that reason. I love to see when my friends' kids are doing something cool in school or like simple little things.
I love it.
That makes me feel I'm always like, should I reach out and reconnect? I mean, it feels like if it's showing up on my page, I need to see how Darlene's doing. And I love any chance to see old friends. And like, obviously we have friends that live in Nebraska. Every time I say goodbye to Lynn, I feel like my heart is breaking. Allie was a big one because I lived with her for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then, but you know what? I do think there is a magical space where we all try to see each other
Yeah.
and text each other. That is it. I'm on a text chain with a group of friends from Nebraska, and like, it's my delight when a text randomly comes through that's a bit or a joke. So
Yeah.
there are ways to soften the blow. When you were younger, we would write letters, and nothing felt better than when
Oh,
I would get a
God.
letter from a friend.
Well, you'd barely call because it was so expensive.
Oh, your
like,
parents were
long
like,
distance.
not long distance. We're gonna let the friendship go.
No, that
They're
is.
boomers.
I was going to say about social media is it is a good thing. And I say this all the time about people from high school where I'm like, even if I was really good friends with them, all I need to see is that they're okay.
Yeah.
Like you're together with your friends for like a reason or a season or whatever it is that they
Yeah.
say. And I'm like, I'm okay just to know that they're okay, you know?
I like to see what they're dealing with in terms of like, wow, real estate. All right, go you.
That looks like a nice vacation.
Yeah, or I'm like,
Why
how
don't
many
I get
kids
one?
did you have? Jesus
God, I
Christ.
know.
You can afford those college tuitions. But okay.
Okay.
So I do have a hot flash.
Hot flash, hot flash. Hot flash. Oh, you do?
I
Who
do.
is it?
Get ready, you guys. Okay, as you guys know, I love to golf, which makes me, if you're a 28-year-old hot dude listening right now, my stock just got even hotter because I wear golf clothes that tell you I'm all business, okay? So I don't wear alluring clothes.
They're like
I wear
turtlenecks, and she thinks that they're flashy.
because I want everybody to know I'm gonna play for real, okay? Because I don't mess around. So my son and I went golfing, and it was really, really fun. And you know, he's 12, so not all of the hangouts are productive. So I went out. I called him bro. He called me bruh. It was magical. He damn near got a hole in one. I mean, I've never been on the course with anybody to get closer to a hole in one than my son on the third hole. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
That's bonkers.
I've been playing since I was 8 years old, and I'm going to see my 12-year-old son. He's not going to appreciate this.
No.
So, but it just,
He will when he has a scholarship.
right.
From golf
Bronk,
scholarship. Yeah.
just plonk the ball 6 inches from the hole. And I was like, I went against my own code of ethic on the golf course. And I was like, whoa, 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 like screaming, and my hands were up, and I was like freaking out. And
Are you not supposed to do that?
No, it's
Oh.
golf. You're not, keep it classy. So of course, we walked to the hole and see that 6 inches away from the hole. And I'm freaking out, and it was so fun. Then cut to, we just watched this tournament with Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Steph Curry. I think he's such a class act. He's so like hot for his wife, and like just a good dad and a good person. And
Yeah.
he got a hole in one at this like celebrity tournament because he can play for real. And I was like, Steph Curry, you just Steph Curry, you just won hot flash.
What
I don't know
happened
what
if
kind
you're
of,
only listening as her shirt sleeve flipped up just a little bit, and
I felt revealing. I'm going to tell you.
he's super hot.
He's
Yeah.
so hot. I know this is not
1000%.
news.
No, I
But-
know. Yeah.
And I've always liked him, and I've always liked his wife.
I thought you were going to talk about a professional golfer.
You remember we were on the I could name a million. But you know that we were on the Kelly Clarkson show when it was during COVID, remember?
Yeah.
And Steph Curry's wife was on there, and like,
Oh, yeah.
she was so
Oh, my God.
beautiful.
She had a
and like
cookbook.
she had a cookbook, and
Yeah.
she had like the background of her house. Like, we're all showing her house we were like, oh.
It wasn't shocking. I mean, of course she's beautiful. Of course she's charming and lovely, and her house is beautiful.
And she's like, Steph, like, we like to cook together. And I was like, why do I feel like you guys are like constantly just making sweet love?
I mean,
Meanwhile, my
how many
husband's
kids
like,
do they have?
just get over it. It's life. Your
Well,
feelings are
do you think that
dismissed.
she is on her podcast saying these exact same things about us? Honestly,
I would hope
I
so.
don't think so.
I'm going to go ahead and believe in magic, because if anything about this episode has taught you one thing, it's that I'm in a little bit of denial, and I'm definitely in a need-based situation in the love space.
Oh boy.
And I don't like to say goodbye. I didn't even like when Jen went to the Wisconsin Dells for 4 days.
I know.
We haven't a long enough time apart.
We haven't traveled apart in such a really long, and we're going to do it in 2 weeks too.
Yeah, I didn't like traveling on a plane without you. And I had Michelle with me. I had a tour manager with me who helps me so much. And yet I still was like, I got on the plane. I was like,
where's my magazines and my mints?
Yeah, somebody's supposed to tell me to wipe down the airplane seat and that I need to wash my hands more.
Doesn't anybody around me want to order 3 Chardonnays?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I don't know who to talk to. I know who to talk to, but there's no one to make fun of me for talking to everybody. This feels weird. And then I spilled ZzzQuil all over my back.
Yeah, I have a mom box.
Great.
Okay. And I love whenever a mom messaged us or messages us after a couple of drinks.
Oh, it's my favorite. It's my
nothing
favorite.
better. Melissa G. Guys with all these S's. How many friend requests do you get? Like really not follows. I'm talking about can we be BFFs in real life requests. You must get so many because you're hilarious and amazing and well, I need you two for my BFFs in real life and that's all there is to it. Just watching your Facebook Live from the other day while grading because WFH, I don't know what that means.
Fuck? Work from
home.
I was like, is that another cuss one? I need that.
I know. I was like,
what the fuck, homie? No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
With little kids means the work happens at night. Anyway, these kids are all getting A's because you put me in the best mood.
Oh.
P.S. My mom thinks Jason Momoa is gross. Can you even? He's sex on legs. Oh my God.
Your mom says that, but she doesn't mean it.
No,
she
your mom
means
would bang Jason Momoa.
Oh my God. She means it in the way that it's like, don't.
Please, can we, PSS, please, can we be real friends? And Kristin, of course, messaged back.
Oh my God.
Yes, we can. And
what's your address?
God, now I can't find it. I think I cut it off.
I said, I did.
But I believe she messaged back, sorry, I've had margaritas.
Yes. I was like,
I
yeah, we're
freaking
best friends.
love.
What's your address? I'm going to start that friendship right now.
Anybody who ends an email with, sorry, I've had too many margaritas is in my friend wheel space.
Yeah,
like, that's my wheelhouse. Like, that is
you've
exactly
hit the qualification.
Who I want to have as my friend.
It's what we like to refer to as the good kind.
The good kind of mom friend.
So for all of you out there who have lost a buddy or had to say goodbye or will say goodbye, just hold on tight and stalk them.
That's right. Or maybe you won't care like my son.
Or maybe you'll be told that your feelings don't matter, and that's why we're in counseling. It's fine. Jaron Wood, if you're listening, call my husband.
Reach
for the
out.
Love
he
of
needs
God.
it. I think we podcasted.
I think we did. Bye.